All right, mission accomplished. So I am here with the MacBook Air 2020, and we're gonna have a look at it today in another super cool unboxing. All right, so I am here with the MacBook Air. Yes, I made a brief trip out today. Of course, I have my mask on because COVID is still real. So I know a lot of you are wondering, why do I have a 2020 MacBook Air? And you know, if you follow me in the channel, there was some time last year where I went over the extensive history of me and my 2018 MacBook Pro and why I hate it so much, which is why I'm here today with the Air. Now let's go ahead and start opening this. Ooh. Oh, that's smooth and cruisy right there. You got the little pull. Apple's like satisfactory packaging. I really feel like the packaging does something to you mentally, like when you do that pull and it's so smooth and you're like, ooh. So yes, my MacBook Pro is the reason that I'm here today with this MacBook Air, because if you know me, I hate my 2018 MacBook Pro. It just had so many issues. I had to have a top case replacement because the battery swole up last year. Then on top of that, it just overheats and shuts down a lot. I have to constantly vacuum out the vents. And then of course, it's still part of the keyboard replacement program. So I'm thinking about like 5 years, 10 years down the line, maybe when it's not under that program anymore and the keyboard breaks, then I'm just SOL at that point. So I definitely wanted to get something that wouldn't have this issue. And the reason I went with the Air is because I didn't want to spend a lot of money. Okay, there was another reason. So you probably didn't watch that video I did last year about my MacBook Pro repair experience, but I did have to have it repaired and the top case replaced. Up until that point, it was the computer that I was using for video editing. And I had my Windows computer, but it was just kind of like a gaming computer. So during that period, I migrated everything over to Windows and I started editing on Windows. I beefed up my Windows computer a lot. I actually made some more upgrades to it recently, which is going to be a different video. I'm going to talk about that. But basically, now I have a super cool Windows editing rig and I don't use my MacBook for editing anymore. So what do I really use it for? Well, between my desktop, my iPad Pro, I just got the keyboard case, I really don't use it much at all. The one reason I like having a Mac is because I did buy Logic Pro 5 years ago and I do use Logic Pro to edit podcasts. So I still want to have a MacBook and I don't need a particularly powerful one. And also I traded in my MacBook Pro 15-inch and I got like $1,010 in credit. This is the second tier MacBook Air with the Core i5 and the 512 gig hard drive, because that was another issue I had with my MacBook Pro. I just never had enough space because I never wanted to pay for the space upgrade, but then if you don't, you're kind of stuck with it. Like as soon as I installed everything on that MacBook, it was pretty much full. So that's why I'm doing this downgrade. I don't need the power. The stuff that I'm doing in Logic, even when I do music occasionally, I'm not gonna have more. At the most, I might have like 10 tracks up there. And this will be more than enough for that. Plus it has the redesigned keyboard and it's smaller and it's lighter. Let's see what else is in the box before we open this. So we have our charging cable, which I am gonna have to open because I gotta get ready to mail this MacBook Pro to Apple for my trade-in credit. And FYI, I don't recommend a lot of people doing this because you can get a lot more money. Like I could've got a lot more than $1,010. You know, selling it on eBay or selling it myself on Craigslist or whatever. I just didn't feel like going through the hassle. So I just traded it back into Apple. But I have the 15-inch entry-level 2018 MacBook Pro. I paid like $2,200 with a student discount. That was another thing. I did get the student discount with this. So I got $100 off. Ooh, you got the silvery Apple stickers. These are nice. The chromium, the chrome touch on the Apple stickers. I might actually put these on something. I probably won't. And then you have your smaller power brick here. Well, a lot smaller than the MacBook Pro, which I appreciate. Like this is not a powerful machine. So this is a 30-watt power brick, and I'm kind of glad because that MacBook Pro one is ridiculous. Size-wise, it'll be nicer to have a smaller one plugged in. Yeah, and then overall, this is just... Oh, no, did I scratch it already? Oh, it's rubbing off. It's not a big deal, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the unboxing experience. You know, Apple keeps it very simple. Let's go ahead and open this up. Ooh! Gotta do our screen tear. I always like the way that when you open an Apple computer, it just starts up. But yeah, this is actually pretty hefty. I like the way that it's built. And before I even try to place my fingers on these keys, I gotta do something really quick. So I do have my current MacBook Pro here still. I might as well just get a little taste of the keyboard difference. This top case was actually replaced, so the end of 2019. And I don't really use the keyboard ever because I have an external keyboard hooked up. So it should still be in decent condition. There's probably some dust in there, so it's not gonna be 100%. Let me do a hit of the 2018. It's not how a real person types. I mean, I don't think the butterfly switches are horrible. After I got used to them, I still don't like them. If you have one that's still in good condition like I do, it's not drastically different really. The arrow keys, a lot of people hate these arrow keys for some reason. I don't really care that much. Of course, this doesn't have the touch bar, which I don't hate the touch bar. I'm just indifferent about it. Like, it's okay. So having the touch bar, the function keys doesn't bother me. So obviously, two different screen sizes, two completely different computers. As far as performance, MacBook Pro, this thing will crush this computer as far as performance. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm really looking for something that's a B computer, almost a C computer, because really my B computer really has been my iPad Pro. This is just like the computer that I need to do logic and maybe do a couple of things. And this is small enough and portable enough where I actually like might carry it downstairs and, you know, hang out on the couch if I need to do something like, maybe, I don't know, work on my resume. Something like that. But yeah, these keys, like really digging into it, there's still not a lot of travel in this keyboard. Like there's really not much more travel than what you get on the butterfly switches, at least with the MacBook Pro. But overall, it is a better keyboard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I can actually use this keyboard. I literally hated this when I got it. Like the travel, like it hurt my fingers when I first used it because I'm just so used to like pressing down and having that feedback. It was like, it's pretty much like typing into a desk almost. I got used to it, but like this, you don't have to get used to. It is a better experience. So yep, so this is the Core i5 10th gen, 512 gig hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM. This is the 8th gen Core i7 model. This is the base model 2018. So the 8th gen Core i7 was 16 gigs of RAM, 256 gig hard drive. So a lot of ways this is a downgrade. And I did end up overall spending about $200, but for the price difference after I made some additional purchases, which we'll talk about next week because there was something that came with this that I'm excited to talk about. Yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this computer. So yeah, outside of the comparison between the two, like I said, two completely different machines, the only thing that's really comparable is the keyboard. Like if you want a MacBook Pro, if you need that power, then get a MacBook Pro. Like technically speaking, a 2018 MacBook Pro performance-wise is still going to be way better than this if you're thinking about buying one secondhand, but buy the computer that makes sense for you. This computer just gave me so many issues and it doesn't make sense for me anymore, so I'm getting rid of it. This is a computer that makes sense for me because I'm not going to be doing anything crazy. So we can scooch this to the side and let's focus on our MacBook Air. The one thing I like is the finish. Like I said, this has a good weight to it. This definitely doesn't feel like the old model Air. I actually fixed one last year. I think it was like a 2012 model, but it had that same design. You know, they carried the design forever. So this is really the first time I've gotten to mess with a new MacBook Air, and I'll have to say it's really nice. Like this is a lot closer to a MacBook Pro than being like a budget option. It doesn't feel like a budget option. This actually feels pretty high end. You still have a Spaces trackpad here. You got Touch ID. It's a little separate Touch ID module. I actually like that. The one thing about the touch bar that did bother me is like it's a fingerprint magnet too, because it's so glossy. I thought the touch bar is one of those things where like if you really want to get down and customize it and use those shortcuts, it can be very useful, like more useful than the function keys. But some people they're not going to take the time to learn and invest in that. They're used to their function keys, and it makes sense. Now, I did complain about the cooling, and cooling is not a specialty of the MacBook Air, but these are lower power components, so it's just generally not going to get as hot. So that's why I'm not worried about the cooling with this computer. This computer was just like, it would just heat up for no reason. That's the best thing I can say about it. So like I said, this unboxing really isn't like going to be a performance showcase between this and this. This is a more casual computer, school computer. Pro is a, maybe entry-level professional. You might be doing a heavier video workload. You might be doing Photoshop or something like that. They're two completely different class computers. So far build quality wise and keyboard, I'm impressed. I'm gonna go ahead and get this set up. I'm gonna give you my first impressions of it in a few weeks because I don't want to make the same mistake I made with this one. I think after like 2 weeks, I started having issues with it and I really started disliking it. So I want to give you my honest first impression. So this was pretty much just an unboxing of it and my thoughts as far as the build quality. And so far, I'm really impressed. Like the MacBook Air, this redesign is outstanding, especially if you ever mess with one of the older models. I'm going to be back with a deeper look at this and we'll see how it goes. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe, and always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace.